I live and breathe mountain biking. Sometimes I feel like I need to get away from it. It's a compulsion, building and riding, and I don't really feel whole unless I do it. My sister actually got me into mountain biking. At one point I went on a ride with her at Kingdom Trails. That was my introduction to real mountain biking.
I remember bought myself a mountain bike and was riding around kind of just like by myself. There wasn't very many people doing it. I took him on his first ride, and then the next thing I knew, he was like, we're gonna go on a trip to Utah, and then took me out and introduced me to all of these places that people were riding bikes in a different way. But I always felt like a nostalgia for Vermont. The mountains aren't as big and the snow's not as deep, but there's something about the East Coast that I felt drew me back.
When I started getting more competitive, I would go to these other places that were iconic that I would see in magazines or videos, and the whole time I just kept thinking, oh, we can do this in Burke. We have what it takes. Our dirt is so good. And I don't know why, but I felt like I needed to be the guy who brought that to Kingdom Trails.
And he's the godfather of free riding. Knight was one of the first sponsored mountain bike athletes in Vermont that wasn't cross-country racing. And so his trails reflect that. I grew up on a dirt road, and mountain bikes were what I had for an escape. And I came here for one of my first proper mountain bike rides to Kingdom Trails. And there was maybe 15 miles of trail, and that was all of Kingdom Trails. That was it. Fast forward now, and there's 130 plus miles of trails, and it's the central piece for all the businesses around here.
It went from me building jumps for myself to people asking me, can you build trails or jumps for us? Then Burke Mountain contracted me to build the first trail at the resort, and that started their lift access mountain biking. I just really loved it right off the bat. Just really gave me something that I needed. So when you come here and you're in the middle of town, you're a mountain biker, and you look around, your tribe is the majority of people there. That's unique.
If you want to be a mountain biking mecca, it is really important to have all of those different trail disciplines. Kingdom Trails doesn't manage everything, but we all know that as a community, it's better for us if we work together and we act as one. I feel like being part of a place where people are finally able to come here as a young person and make a living, or finally gonna maybe stay here instead of heading out west. It is a great opportunity to be able to steer things in the right direction for creating that for people.
I always played sports when I was a kid, but if there had been a bike team, that would have been #1 choice for me. The fact that I can help to offer that for kids here is something that's huge for me. The IdeRide team came to be when my son, from an early age, just had a lot of skill. And the kids that are on that team are kids who have this passion that either you have it or you don't. Some people get on a mountain bike and it just doesn't click for them. I would just take the kids out on weekly practices. I would make them pedal as hard as they could because they all wanted to ride downhill all the time and only at the park on jumps and berms. So it's like, well, we're not doing that. We're riding cross country, and then we're gonna go to the top of the mountain where you don't like riding there either. In order to progress and be competitive, they needed to up their fitness.
I got involved with the IdeRide team when Knight started it 4 or 5 years ago. His son Damien and a few of the other kids in town were really showing interest in racing and competing, and now they're some of the best riders in the state, easily.
My favorite part on being on the IdeRide team is it just motivates me to climb. It's not fun, it's just knowing that you're getting stronger and progressing.
Yeah.
Woo! It's really cool to be on the team, kind of like one big family.
The kids are learning not just about how to be better bike riders, but they're learning about how to work together to figure out how to do something new.
When you meet someone, no matter what their age is or what differences you have, If they enjoy mountain biking the same way you do, then you sort of just have this connection with them. I always tell them everyone has an opportunity to become a professional mountain biker, but that's not what the goal is. Racing is a metaphor for your life. So you're faced with a challenge, and learning how to face that challenge and keep your cool and have fun no matter what the result is at the end, that's a really strong skill, and that's what we're really trying to teach kids. Words can't even express how rewarding it is to see these kids out there just riding at such a high level and mainly just enjoying it. I'm super proud of all of them. Mountain biking for me is my, my happy place. I was down on Kingdom Trails because it was all cross country, but I'd see in my future that cross country network, that's going to be me when I'm like 70s or 80s, hopefully. Then those trails are going to be the ones that are the most important to me.